Facebook ads as a service type thing, or do an e-commerce thing like FBA.
Build up some cash, then do FBA.
Yeah.
But then I don't regret doing Facebook either because now I have that skill. It allowed me to make money like really, really quickly. Like it literally was overnight.
If you want to do your own thing and escape the 9 to 5, the hack is just be a freelancer or get a remote job that requires less than 8 hours a day. Like what would you say to, a young homie if he walked in here?
Selling a service, one skill that you have that you can get better at by just investing time in your actual selling your time, then you really have a one-dimensional lane to crush.
All right, bros, we back. We're just grinding here in Bangkok, chilling. Had to make this story today because 10 years ago, this year, 2014, is when I met these two MFers. Ocean was 19, Evan was 20, 21. We were all three completely broke. And those two were the youngest at the conference in Chiang Mai. Shout out to Anton and Johnny for throwing that conference. Dropship Lifestyle Retreat, October 2014. 10 years ago, still here, all running our own successful online businesses. Both of them are here right now. Had to share the story and the update of the whole journey and basically ask them what they would say to their younger self if they were just starting their location independent career journey, digital nomad journey, whatever the fuck it is. That was 10 years ago, considered like early days, but the real big picture is it's still fucking early days. It's still the beginning of the internet. And so if you're 19 and maybe thinking about not going to uni, that was Ocean. And luckily he took a gap year, came out to Thailand, ended up getting into the online world. He did Facebook ads, he did FBA, he did print on demand, and then built up his side hustle into a successful, he blew the fuck up on YouTube, and I saw him from the very beginning, and he was one of the first guests in my podcast, and this motherfucker right here. So,
Yo.
what would you say to yourself 10 years ago when you were 19 coming to Thailand, or another version of yourself who's 19 and they have similar aspirations?
That's such a loaded question.
Yes, it's deep. What comes to mind?
It's a deep one. The one that comes to mind, patience. I think when I was younger, I thought it was just gonna happen like overnight and very quickly, not really understanding like things take time. You have to really stack your skills and really like practice and get results and stuff like that. And it's not just one skill, it's like a combination of all skills that come together to kind of like lift things up, if that makes sense. So like really stack your skills and have patience.
So what was the best, like, because you started off and it was FBA and then it was Facebook ads?
I took a bit from everything really. FBA, dealing with people, managing inventory and numbers, dealing with money, finances and stuff. But then I guess with like Facebook ads, the whole copywriting, advertising, that side of it.
Would you rather just jump in to do the Facebook ads as a service type thing or do an e-commerce thing like FBA?
You see, FBA though, you need money. And at the time when I was 19, I had no money. Maybe it could have been smart for me to like have a job, build up some cash, then do FBA.
Yeah.
But then I don't regret doing Facebook either because now I have that skill and it allowed me to make money like really, really quickly. Like it literally was overnight with that one. I don't know if I would change anything at the same time. I feel like it had to be what it was.
What would you say for someone who, they want to be a creator like you, they are a creative, they want to ideally, obviously, make money from doing what you love, making music and creating, but at the same time you need to have an income. So what would you say to someone with those kind of aspirations? They don't want to go to uni, but it's like, I want to be a fucking YouTuber, but at the same time I need like a job for immediate income. Because like my whole perception with being a creator and like running your passion business is like, that's like a long-term game. Like 5 years, 10 years, like that's the ideal goal. But like immediately you need to do something to get money immediately. So what would you say to if someone asked you about that?
If they wanted to be a creator, but they needed money immediately.
Yeah, like what's the framework?
Well, I think you're probably gonna have to divide your time up. in mainly prioritizing the money in the beginning, because you're gonna need to invest in yourself, right, to be a creator. Like you might need a camera, a couple mics, maybe an editor, but that is kind of a luxury. But if you can't edit, then maybe an editor and a thumbnail designer. So get the money, even if it's a job or whatever. And then if they want to be a creator, just go hard at it. It took me ages to blow up on YouTube. I don't even feel like I've blown up. It's still
So
got
how
a lot
did
of
you,
growth, but
when did you start? Because obviously everything starts as a side hustle.
yeah.
And so what were you doing?
I took a risk. So
what was you doing as your job at the time?
at the time, I was doing like sales funnels for people, like making their click funnels and doing all the copy, and even sometimes doing their emails, but mainly the copy for it, designing it, and then they'll pay me. But I kind of took a risk at the same time. Like I saved up, not even that much, just a little bit, just enough to kind of just live. And kind of just went like full on into YouTube, like making 3-4 videos a week. And that kind of worked for me. But it took me like at least 100 videos to find my style. And then maybe like 150, 200 in to like really see some growth.
And you were in Thailand at the time?
No, I was kind of all over the place. I took it serious when I came back to England for like maybe 6 months stint. Took it serious then. Then I moved to Spain. Moved to Bali for like 2 months, moved back to Spain for like a whole year. But that whole year I was just like YouTube every day.
Yeah. So side hustling. So you have a couple clients, right, for funnels, and that's basically paying the bills.
That was like the money maker. I guess you could say that was the job.
Yeah, of course.
And
That's
just going hard with the YouTube, even though it wasn't bringing me like full-time job money. It was my job, you know?
Yeah.
Just lived it like a job.
Yeah, it was taking. So your YouTube / let's call it side hustle, right, was probably taking up like most of your time, like 80% of your time, and then the client work, it was kind of like not that time consuming?
The client work was time consuming, but...
So maybe 50-50?
It was 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely 50-50. But then my energy was just like, I really want to do YouTube way more than the client stuff. So yeah, I'd spend most of my time just thinking about that. Even when I was doing client work, I probably had like a YouTube podcast on in the background or something. Just always learning.
Yeah. This is the framework I'm trying to get at. This is the framework, and I'm still doing it now. I have my job business, right? The Amazon agency. And then I have my passion business, right? Living that life, YouTuber, courses, all of that. And so the framework, bros, is what I'm trying to get at. Get your remote job / freelance clients, all right? That's gonna be your immediate quick income. And a time split to shoot for is 50-50. That's very possible. Like a typical 9 to 5, all right, that's 8 hours a day. You're not gonna be able to do 50-50. Actually, you can, because you have weekends. You have weekends where you can do all day for your side hustle, Saturday and Sunday, plus you have maybe 4 hours during the night, during every weekday. So what I'm getting at, everything starts with a side hustle. So one of the most common struggles / roadblocks that people say when they get my ebook in the survey, it's like, obviously it's time, but if you want to do your own thing and escape the 9 to 5, then it comes down to nights and weekends. And so, but the hack is just be a freelancer and or get a remote job that requires less than 8 hours a day. Then you have more time for your side hustle and build it and go from there.
Exactly.
That's it. Simple as that. And so for those that don't know, what is your mindset right now in terms of what you are focusing on, what you are building on as a creator? What's the game plan? What's the...
I think over years, YouTube has just changed so much from when I started to where it is now. I've been on YouTube for like 6-7 years, and I've always grown in waves, gone up and gone down, gone up and gone down. And I think now with the introduction of Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels, the game is kind of leveled out for anyone. Anyone can jump on and really build a brand for themselves. So I just want to take advantage of that a bit more, really, really build my brand through all social medias, but be like really omnipresent, loads of content, loads of high quality music. And yeah, just keep putting myself out there like I'm a beginner again. You know, like it's kind of going back to the days of like when I first started and I just needed to put content out there. kind of going back to that mind frame. Try not to be too much of a perfectionist, but keep the quality really high. Yeah, and just keep building, to be honest with you.
It never stops. Keep building. At the end of the day, it's all about, like, I'm basically the same mindset. It's all about personal brand these days. Because, like, we don't know what's going to happen with the platform. But if you can build, like, fan base of loyal followers, then you'll be good. You can pivot into anything. So that's it, man. That's the journey. Hey, if you're 19, if you're 17, I don't give a fuck. This is the easiest time ever. Like, we have all these amazing platforms, these social media platforms.
And there's just there's even more information that's out there than ever before, you know. If you want to go on social media, I mean, you can buy a course, but there's also just tons of resources on how to do it, you know. Just got to find your voice, find your community of people, and start putting one foot forward, and then it'll kind of just figure itself out.
Literally just today, let me show you this NPC. Literally just today, I get this out, and he's got the tutorial right here. And like, he doesn't even, he's never used this particular machine before.
Yeah, first time using it.
And then he just doesn't say shit, and just like, he whips out his phone, and then 5 seconds later the tutorial is playing, and then now he's here. That was like a couple hours ago, and now he's making a beat. So not knowing how to do something, not knowing how to do a skill, like, literally just never say that. You can't say that anymore in this day and age.
Literally, I'm like one of the people that's probably learned 80% of life through the internet, honestly. Like, everything though, fitness, nutrition, music. I never went to school for music. I've learned everything through YouTube tutorials, making money online, courses. I'm a child of the internet, really.
Absolutely, me too. We are both products of the YouTube generation. Like I say, YouTube changed both of our lives. Like, we were just talking about this yesterday, because we both found out about the conference somehow through the internet, through someone's YouTube channel. And yeah, it was basically Johnny FD's channel. He was making videos about Thailand. And boom, that was the first time, like, me and Ocean and tons of guys were like, oh wait, what, digital nomad? Like, ever seen that, like, term before? And then boom, that spark is open. And then boom, 10 years ago. All right, let's go get Evan while we have light. Thanks for coming on the show, O. More coming soon with that guy. The Riley Bennett Show. Do you have 5 minutes?
What?
How young were you when you came to Chiang Mai? Was it 21?
No, I was 20.
20?
Yeah.
And so Ocean was 19 and Evan was 20. And they were the two youngest people
Youngest cats.
at the conference. And me and Park were 24, 25. Instantly became best friends. We were all of us were broke. You know, basically no money in the bank account, but we came out with the digital nomad dream, the drop shipping dream. And shout out again to Anton and Johnny for putting on that conference, because we had all gotten the course. And sometimes if you just jump in both feet to your side hustle, it can work out. And I guess what I'm sharing is these case studies. Doesn't always work out for everyone, but all of us, boom, we're case studies. But
Doesn't work out for most people.
Many of our friends are like, hey, it's probably less than 50%, but
Yeah,
maybe
way less.
25%, 20%, I don't know.
I'd say
But-
more like 10, 15.
But success is not a black and white. So guys like Jacob,
Yeah.
like, he had to, like, it didn't work out for him the first year. So after a year or 6
Regroup.
months, he went back home and worked and regrouped. But he kept building, trying his side hustles, his online side hustles, and eventually it took off. And now he's successful, like living in Mexico.
Crushing.
And he's crushing it.
Crushing the e-com game, yeah. He's actually, ironically, he's doing the drop shipping again, but on a higher level with Regroup, you know?
Yeah.
He actually had to work on some personal issues, just in general, as a man. And I think a lot of our other friends have done the same thing. They go home, regroup, stack some cash, and work on personal issues. I know I had to do the same thing. That was like blocking me from getting, you know, what I wanted to achieve was actually my mindset and some familial issues. But after that, it was kind of like clear highways ahead. And so, yeah, that regroup can be real powerful. But yeah, I would say it's a very small percentage of people who like stick it out to the end and ride the waves of the ups and downs, you know. But for those who do, it becomes well worth the time invested.
So what would you say to another version of like a 20-year-old motherfucker, 1 or 2 years into college, but then you're like, oh wait, digital nomad? Yeah, I want to like do the online game. Like, what would you say to, a young homie if he, walked in here? Like,
Yeah, man, just find a skill. Pick a skill that you can sell realistically, something that you can just do, that you sell your time at, and that you get better at every day the more that you look into it and read books about it and understand about, what the business model is. We kind of jumped in head first with the e-com game, where it was like, okay, we're just going to learn how to drop ship and build an e-com store and run ads to it with the money that we didn't have, and build a design, that actually converted, which we didn't know how to do, write copy that we didn't know how to convert, and then also land suppliers, which we didn't know how to sell people. So like, that's a lot of things to work on at once, which I wouldn't suggest it, because it's like jumping in the deep end. But if you can learn one skill, like copywriting, graphic design, maybe even financial trading in the markets. Obviously, you need some capital for doing that. But
Sales.
selling a service, one skill that you have that you can get better at by just investing time and you're actual selling your time into it, then you really have a one-dimensional lane to crush, and there's eliminating a lot of the variables that would keep you down otherwise if you don't have that much capital to start or experience.
Yep. And so you went down the copywriting route. And so what would you say to someone going that path, and the path that you're on right now is trying to go from freelancer to business owner, transition that into a business assistant?
Yeah.
What are the tricks, I guess?
Oh man.
Or framework?
I'm coming out with a $200,000 course tomorrow since it drops actually. It's obviously full paid up front, so you're gonna have to send me that. But no, man, I basically just would say that you build a skill, and building a skill is like building a foundational layer of a pyramid, and that's the one thing that you're gonna build on. So mine was copy, and copywriting in a nutshell is essentially just persuading people to change their mind for money. And so you have to have ethics with that, obviously, to make sure that the products are legit, services are legit, that you're promoting for people. But that was my base layer skill, and I was able to build upon that. And now I've stacked other skills on top of that are closely related in terms of managing other people, finding out where to hire people, building teams, building very intricate SOPs or standard operating procedures for how we write copy step by step. I just finished the 50-page Motive and Motion copywriting Bible for our internal team, which is a crazy huge piece of work that has built out a lot of that systematic, scalability. So we can actually tell people go through this system. This is exactly how you write copy really well. This is my brain dumped in 10 years of copy. So yeah, I would say build a skill, build on that, build that foundational layer. Once you're starting from zero, just build on that foundational layer. You might have to pivot around a little bit to find the one that works for you. Once you get some success, you want to double down on that and really lock in on that. And then eventually you just build adjacent skills that are complementary. Keep going up and to the right.
Yep. It's all of those skills that he's talking about, it's all in this sphere of just online business, which is where all business is done these days. So every business does business online, well, all savvy businesses, social media, links, websites, click-through rates, opt-ins, emails, copy, funnel, webinars, checkout pages, follow-ups, sales calls, upsells, courses. It's all part of this sphere of digital marketing. And it's an unlimited sphere, because pretty much all business is just online these days. And guess what? All this shit can be done wherever from a laptop. It's still, COVID accelerated this wave, but now just normies are working from home from a laptop. It's all the same shit. This is life. This is behind the scenes. It's just sitting at a laptop. But hey, you know what? If you want, you can just be sitting on a laptop in Thailand, in Bangkok, where you are now, instead of fucking Seattle or Colorado or where you are. So, hey man, I guess saying this to say, if you want to do it, ain't nothing to it but to do it. And if you're young, very getting started, I'm all in on promoting sales as the thing to do, because that was actually my journey. I did door-to-door sales for 5 years in college, and then for 2 years after college. But remote closing is the new door-to-door sales. It's a quick thing. It's quick cash, quick money. Just getting in there, talking to people, closing them on the phone, right? And so if you're young, if you can communicate and you're not afraid to take some rejection, and if you're highly motivated, then I highly recommend sales. Obviously, building my sales course / mastermind now. Bam's going through it right now. Get your client, go on Upwork. Evan still uses Upwork now every day. I still use Upwork. Get your first client, which is a very easy client to get. It's a very easy remote job to get, a sales job, because it's commission only. Like that's very little risk for the employer. Anyways, plenty of opportunities nowadays, bros. And yeah, 9.5 years anniversary. Both the homies are in the crib, so had to share this little update with you guys. Let me know what video I should make next. Me and Bam's here as well, so we got some videos to make. Don't we, Bam?
We do. We are in the process.
We're in the process.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. I forgot you lost your voice too,
Oh yeah.
but it wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad.
Oh, it's good. You're good. Man sounds like a poet. I literally have to say, he sounds like a poet.
We've done a few podcasts. Probably maybe our 10th podcast. He's the most frequent guest. And so, anyways, peace. See you guys in the comments. Yeah.
Living that life. We just living that life. Talking plies, living that life. We just living that life. You're listening to the Living That Life Digital Nomad Podcast. Hit the subscribe button on iTunes if you're a boss. And check out the YouTube channel for dope travel videos.